For the math warm-up today, we are going to be rounding to the nearest tenth for our first problem. So if you would, pause your video, round that decimal to the nearest tenth, and then come on back and check to see if you got your answer correct. So you should have rounded that decimal to 6 1/10 because that is the nearest tenth. Let's take a look at number 2. Go ahead and take that decimal and round to the nearest hundredth. Pause your video. You should have rounded that decimal to 0 59 hundredths. Let's take a look at number 3. Let's round that decimal to the nearest whole number. Pause your video. You should have rounded to 6. And our last one, go ahead and round that decimal to the nearest hundredth once more. Pause your video. Let's see how you did. You should have gotten 39 99 hundredths. Hopefully you got all of those correct, and let's get moving on. For our math message today, I want you to think about this question. What would an area model look like for 3/4 times 2/3? So I'm giving you a start here. I want you to pause your video. Go ahead and draw this out on a sheet of paper or your dry erase board and see if you can figure out what that would look like. Okay, so let's take a look at what I've done here, and I want you to compare it to what you've done yourself. So the first thing that I did is I noticed that we had the fraction 3/4. So I took my number line here and I divided it into 4 parts so that I could have 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. And then I went to the 2/3 and divided horizontally 1/3, 2/3, and of course 1 whole would be 3/3. If we find the 3/4 fraction and the 1/3 fraction and we go to where they meet, then we would shade everything to the left of that. So we have a total of 6 squares that are shaded out of a total of 12 squares. So our number sentence for this would be 3/4 times 2/3 equals 6/12. How did you do? Hopefully that makes sense, and we will continue with our lesson. Our lesson today is fraction multiplication algorithm. The why and the how. The why for this lesson is this is another way to multiply fractions, and it also has real life applications that you may use for jobs or everyday life, even like cooking or things like that. So anything that you would be using fractions for, you might be multiplying fractions and trying to get an answer to that question. So we're going to look for patterns. This is our how. We're going to estimate. We're going to use paper folding if we need to, and we're also going to use area models similar to our math message today. So you'll notice that our lesson keeps mentioning this word algorithm, and we've used this word in the past. But an algorithm is kind of like a formula or a certain set of steps that we use to solve a problem a certain way. So in this instance, we are multiplying fractions. So we're going to do some examples for those today. And always remember that you can go back and you can do the paper folding that we've done with some previous lessons, or you can just use this algorithm, whichever is easiest for you. So when we talk about multiplying 1/4 times 1/2, what we want to remember is that we are multiplying our numerators and then we are multiplying the denominator. So in this instance, we are going to be doing 1 times 1, which is our numerators, and we will do 4 times 2, which are the denominators. So if we do that, then we are going to get 1/8 as our answer to this first problem. If we take a look at our second problem, we have 2/8 times 3/5. Again, if we take our numerators and we are multiplying 2 times 3, and we take our denominators, 8 times 5, and then we get 6/40 for this second problem. Our third problem, again, we're going to take our numerator, 5 times 2, and our denominators, 10 times 7, and we get 10/70. Now, could we have used an area model to do this? Yes, we could have. Could we have used paper folding? Yes. In my opinion, this method is just a little bit faster than using those, but you always have those as a backup if you'd like to go back and check your work. So let's try a word problem with our algorithm today. So we have Janelle had 3/4 of a pound of strawberries. She used 1/3 of them in her cake. How many pounds of strawberries did she use? So think about, what is our multiplication problem going to be? We're going to have 3/4 times 1/3. And again, we are going to multiply the numerators, the 3 and the 1. And we're going to get 3 for the numerator. And then we're going to multiply our denominators. And then we would label. Actually, we need pounds, not strawberries. So let me fix that. And there you have it. So let's summarize what we've done. We can use area models. We can estimate to help assure accuracy when multiplying fractions. So we want to keep that in mind. We can compare models and multiply denominators and numerators to give us accurate answers. Easy peasy, right? I think you guys won't have any issues with this lesson. I think you'll just breeze on through. So until next time, guys, I'll see you in class.